How's it going? So yet another unhinged loon tried to take out the former president yesterday at his golf course in Florida, I believe. I believe it was West Palm Beach. Second time this year, this summer, someone has tried to unalive Donald Trump. Yet again, another one of his supporters is the culprit. Apparently, this guy voted for Donald Trump in 2016. This guy seems really unique, like uniquely all over the place. I think he was an independent voter. He was a Republican who voted for Trump. He switched over to the Democrats because of the support of Ukraine. Like, everything I've read about this guy, he has spanned the whole political spectrum of United States politics. So I don't know if we can even safely say this is an actual Trump supporter, even though he's on record for voting for Trump in 2016. This guy's all over the place, from Republican, independent to Democrat, supporting Tulsi Gabbard, supporting Donald Trump, supporting Democrats in the war in Ukraine. Like, this guy's all over the place, right? So it's kind of hard to just say, like, oh yeah, he was a Trump guy. Oh yeah, he was a Biden guy. Oh yeah, he was it's not going to land, because the more you learn about this guy, this 58-year-old man from Hawaii, I believe, he's just all over the place. The guy is a train wreck. I mean, he even went to Ukraine to fight, but they said he was too old. This guy, someone was saying this guy was a go-getter. This guy was a go-getter for sure, but he did not go get the former president in this failed assassination attempt. But man, what a shit show, man. We have 50 days of the election, and believe it or not, it can get crazier, and it's probably going to. Whether it's the stuff about Haitians, eating cats and dogs, this far right-wing fascist propaganda pushing these false narratives like there are no Haitians. In the state of Ohio, eating American pets. It's all made up. It's all manufactured. It was literally started by a fascist who spoke out at a public board meeting. That was an interesting video. I forget the name of his far right-wing group or whatever, but this lie was started by him at a public council meeting where you could speak to your representatives locally, and he did that, and he started the rumor there. J.D. Vance picked up on it, then Donald Trump picked up on it, and they spread it all across the country. Just the most virulent, far-right, fear-mongering available to the senses. These guys are pushing it because they're very desperate. They know Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are gaining in the polls. They have momentum, so they're throwing everything at the wall. Every fear-mongering tactic to rally the base, they are going to try. Like I said, we have 50 days to the election, and it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get more intense, and brace yourself. It's going to get so far off the rails. It'll be like something we haven't seen in our lifetimes when it comes to politics. Just trust me on that. I don't know what to expect, but I feel like we're just getting tastes of the insanity yet to come. It's something we can't even forecast. Even political junkies, even if you're wired into the newsfeed every day, like I am, it's something we're not going to be able to predict, but it's going to get worse. I just know that for a fact. They're really trying to take him out. The first guy who tried to take out Donald Trump was a registered Republican. So I don't even know anymore. They're trying to say it's all Democrats, man. It's not. These guys are MAGA guys. These are the MAGA people turning on Donald Trump. These are the people he's fostered for years and years and years with violent rhetoric, with hate mongering, with fear mongering. And, you know, one or two of them is going to keep popping the screw loose and go nuts on this guy. And man, if he becomes president and someone unalives him and J.D. Vance gets in there, have you thought about that yet? Have we even thought about that? Have we even processed the insanity of a J.D. Vance presidency? What that would be? You know, when Sloppy Steve Bannon said Donald Trump is a moderate in the MAGA movement, I didn't know what he was talking about, because I think Trump's a pretty extreme guy. Well, Steve Bannon was referring to people like J.D. Vance. People like J.D. Vance who want to set up a federal database inside the government that tracks women's periods so that if they went across state lines to get an abortion, they would be easier to track because they would have a narrow window of time. That's J.D. Vance. Okay? That guy has a possibility of being president if Donald Trump wins and someone finally successfully unalives him. That's the guy who's going to come up. That's the guy. That's the next. And it's guys with wingding, far-right, lunatic policies like that who will be in charge. I think we need to think about that just a little bit more. I think we really need to be motivated by the prospects of a J.D. Vance presidency if someone finally gets the shot off correctly. When MAGA sends us their marksmen, they're not sending us their best, folks. Okay? It could be 100 tries before they get it. I don't know. Sorry. We're just going to have to vote against this guy in the meanwhile. I don't know what else to tell you. It's just getting so ridiculous. It's getting so unhinged. It's getting so sadistic and evil as it can. It only can. Donald Trump is a chaos agent. We know this. We've known this for the past 9 years, having him in our face every day in the political feed. We know this. We only know this can get exponentially worse as we wind towards what is hopefully the end of a very despicable chapter in American politics. I hope we can close this chapter this November somehow. Like we're all just done. We're sick of this guy, the fatigue. Like even with inflation being bad and prices being bad, turning back to that isn't appetizing. It's not appetizing to sane people who just want some normalcy in our politics, which Donald Trump simply cannot offer the American public. And he can't offer any policies to fix inflation. The Republicans have already refused to sign bills in Congress these past 3 years to reduce inflation. When we were at our worst, when we were struggling at our worst, Republicans were MIA on purpose. Not one vote for the Inflation Reduction Act. Not one bill signed to curb inflation and price gouging. When inflation was at its peak, the Republicans didn't want to help. And now you're telling me, now that it's politically expedient, they're going to help the American public. My God, how gullible can one be? How gullible can you be to really think that turning back to Donald Trump and the GOP is going to help our problems with housing, with healthcare, when these people are fundamentally anti-government at their core? They want everything in the private sector. How do you think putting capitalists in charge of capitalist problems is going to solve the capitalism crisis? It's just delusional. It's just delusional, folks. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm sorry you've been lied to your whole life. But Donald Trump, or any other capitalist for that matter, is not going to fix the exploits of capitalism. That's what capitalism is for. To make profits at any means necessary, including exploitation. Especially with exploitation. That's why they get their profit margins up. Come on, guys. Jesus. What a nightmare. All right, I'm ranting at this point. I'm going to go for a walk. I hope you're having a lovely day. Get outside, get out of the news feed, enjoy the blue sky, go look at a tree. The world's still beautiful, even though with all Trump's ugliness, the world is still a beautiful place, folks. Never forget that. Let me know how you're doing down in the comments.